Okay, so in this lesson we are going to look at how to find the coefficients of functions. So if we have a look here, so we have a line here, and normally with these questions they'll give you 2 points. Okay, so you have this point here, so you have the x point, which is -1, and the y point, which is 2, and then you have this point here, which x is 3 and y is -2. So what it's asking you to do is to find the values of a and b. So these are the numbers, for example, that are in the function. So y is equal to ax plus b. So it's asking you to find out what a is and what b is. Now, if we have a look at this, what we can actually do, we can write two equations or two functions using this function that they give here. So if we take this first point, so if we think about the point, so the point has the x term, which is -1, and then it's going to have the y term. So if we wanted to write out this function, so we could say that y, which is 2, is equal to a times x. Okay, so the value of x is -1 plus the value of plus b. Okay, so we can call that equation 1. And we can simplify this some more, so we can call it so 2 times a times -1, that's going to be equal to 2 is equal to minus a plus b. Okay, so that's the way we can kind of tidy it up a little bit. And then what we can do is we can make another equation using this one here. Okay, so we have x is this value here and y is going to be this value here. So again, if we wanted to write a second equation, we'll number this equation 2. We can write it as the value of y, which is -2, is equal to a times the value of x, which is 3, plus b. And then if we wanted to tidy this up, it would be -2 is equal to 3a plus b. Okay, so what we have then is we have these two equations here. So let's just rewrite them over here so that's a bit tidier looking. So we have equation 1, which is going to be 2. Let's write it like this. So we can write it as -a plus b is equal to 2. And then we can rewrite this one down here. So equation 2, so it looks something like this. So 3a plus b is equal to -2. Okay, so now what we have here, we have two equations. And these two equations are what are called simultaneous equations. So what we can do is we can treat them like simultaneous equations and we can solve it. So basically what we want to do is we want to manipulate the formulas, or we want to manipulate the equations so that we can get rid of one of the unknowns. So if we see here, we have two unknowns. So we have a and we have b, and then we have a and we have b here. So in order to be able to solve this, we have to have just one unknown. So we have to get rid of one of the terms. And we can do that by adding them together. But what we have to do is we have to manipulate one of either the top and the bottom, or just the top or the bottom, so that one of the terms, so in this case we'll focus on b, it has the same number in front of it, which is 1, and it has the opposite sign. So at the moment we can see that this is plus 1b and this is plus 1b. So we want to change it so that this one here has minus 1b. So what we're allowed to do is, in order to change the value of the number, or the sign, for example, that's in front of the number, we can multiply every term in the expression by another number. So what we could do is we could multiply everything in equation 2 by -1. So if we multiply this by -1, and then what we can do is we can rewrite this. So let me just rub this out, because we don't need this now. So we can multiply everything in the equation and then rewrite the equation. So we're not doing anything to equation 1, so we'll just leave that the way that it is. So it's -a plus b is equal to 2. And then equation 2, we're going to manipulate it by multiplying everything by minus 1. So 1 multiplied by 3a gives us minus 3a. And 1 multiplied by minus b gives us minus b. And 1 multiplied by minus 2 gives us plus 2, which is equal to 2. Now what we want to do is we want to add these together. So minus a minus 3a, that's going to give us minus 4a. Plus b minus b, so they are plus b minus b, they're going to just cancel out and that'll leave you at 0, and 2 plus 2 is going to be equal to 4. So now notice we have what's called a linear equation here, so minus a is equal to 4. So what we want to do is we want to get rid of the minus 4 in front of this, so we can divide this by minus 4. Now remember, you always want to end up with this a as a positive number, so that's why I'm dividing it by minus 4. Like signs give plus, unlike signs give minus. So I want to divide this by minus 4 as well. And then a, so plus a is going to be equal to minus 1. So now we've worked out, for example, what the value of a is. So we can see that a is equal to minus 1. So now what we have to do is work out what the value of b is. So what we do is we just take one of the equations, the original equations. So if we take this first equation here, so this one here, so minus a plus b is equal to 2. Let's actually take the second one. Let me just work with the second one instead. So let's go with this second one here. So if we take equation 2, so you can take either of them, but let's take 2, so 3a plus b is equal to minus 2. And what we do is we substitute in the value of a, which in this case is minus 1, so we can work out what b is. So it's going to be 3 times the value of a, which is minus 1, plus b is equal to 2. And then we want to multiply this out, so it's 3 times, so that's going to be minus 3 plus b is equal to 2. And then what we want to do is we want to get rid of this 3, so we add 3 here. And we're going to have to add 3 over here. And that will leave us with b is equal to 2 plus 3, which is 5. And they're the answers. So what we can say then is that a is equal to minus 1 and b is equal to 5. Okay, so let's just quickly recap on what we've done here. So with these questions, when you're finding the coefficients of a function, they will give you the function, and normally they will give you, for example, 2 points. So they might give you a line like this and you can read 2 points off the line, or they'll just give you the 2 points. And then what you have to do is you have to make 2 equations using the points. So you take the first point and we made the first equation. Okay, and then we take the second point and we make the second equation. And then once you have 2 equations then with 2 unknowns, you can solve them using the simultaneous equations method, like what we've just done here. Then you can solve for one of the unknowns. So we've solved for the value of a. And then once you have one of the values, you can take one of the original equations and you can substitute in the value that you've discovered, and you can solve for the second value, in this case b. And that's what we've done here. So that is finding coefficients of functions.